Have you ever thought about simply asking for help? I know this is like, hey, Captain Obvious. I am your captain. I am Captain Obvious. If you are a high achieving woman and if you've landed here, I know you are, that feels overwhelmed by all the things, I want to implore you to start asking for help. And let me help you learn how to do that in 5 easy ways, because once you've been that person that people expect to do everything, it's really hard to do this. It sounds like it's not hard, but it is. And I know, because I have been people. I have been that woman that says, no, it's okay, I can do it myself. And it came from childhood. I wanted to not be a bother. I didn't want to ruffle anybody's feathers by my own needs. So I would start being super independent and taking care of my own needs. I didn't want my working class family to worry about the things that I needed to do. So I would just take care of stuff. They already had to, worry about working and paying the bills, all of that. Now this carries into adulthood. And here I was feeling overwhelmed at work. I was traveling 70% of the time and feeling bogged down by my job that I really loved. I love since I was 17 years old. I know I look 17, but since I was 17 years old, I truly loved helping to develop people, specifically girls and women. And I did youth work for a long time, boys and girls. And I loved developing people, helping them see their true passion, true purpose, and really activating them into the things that they desire to do. And because of that, I really wanted to make sure that I didn't look like I needed help, because I felt like I'm helping people get their life together. I don't want to look like I'm the one that also needs their life together. But later on in life, I realized we're all humans. There's no one that's not going to have things that they need. And it actually helps my clients more, because I'm in this place now that I'm okay with being the person that doesn't have it all together. I'm okay with needing help sometimes. And I'm okay with asking for help. Now, I still need more practice, but this is why I'm going to give it to you, because, like, from a raw perspective, I understand what it's like to be in this place. So one way you can do it, and this is really small but helpful if you haven't been doing it at all, is to make a list of things. Let's start off with your work life that someone else actually could take care of, and not worry about whether or not, if you ask them, it's going to be too much. Because here's the thing, you don't get you don't get to tell people how to spend their money. And so you don't get to tell people how to spend their time either. I always say, like, get out of people's pockets. You know how people try to be in other people's pockets? Like, oh, they have enough money for that. Or they don't have enough time for that. First of all, get out of people's pockets, get out of their time, get out their calendar. You don't know what they have, you haven't asked. And so I want to help you start not worrying about whether people say yes or no, but think about what would work for you if you could get it off your plate. So go ahead, write a list of like 5 things. I'm sure that won't be hard. I'm sure there's 5 things that you could offload. If it's to someone, great. And I want to challenge you. The next thing is to actually ask them. Ask them and be vulnerable, be real about it. Like, say what the thing is. I remember I was helping one client because she actually always felt overwhelmed because one of her teammates always came to her to solve, a specific problem, but this problem would occur multiple times and they would always come to her to give them the information they needed to solve the problem. And, after some work, I'm like, why don't you ask them what is a way that they could do it themselves, and how could you support them in doing that? She had never even considered asking them what they could use from her so that she can help them solve the problem in a way that would allow them to be independent of her. Didn't even think about it, right? And of course, when she did it, they're like, oh, great. They actually felt like, okay, cool, because most people don't want to bother somebody else with their stuff. But we also are not always great at giving ourselves permission to let things go. And so I want you to give yourself permission to let this thing go and find one of the things on your list to actually give to someone, or at least ask. And you'll be surprised with your vulnerability and just being real. how many people would be bothered at all by taking that on, especially if it's something that's already in their wheelhouse? So another thing that's more like personal life, asking for help, and this is something I literally did. I would let people do things for me in public places. So if somebody offered to carry my bags, or someone offered to reach up to grab something for me. And so this is whether someone worked at the establishment I was in, or if it was like a passerby or another customer, I would say yes, because I was so used to saying, oh no, I got it. No, I can do it. This is all the way to getting my bags out of a taxi or Uber, or doing something in a store, trying to maneuver, with your cart and someone getting out of your way. I mean, you're getting out of their way before they get out of yours, and they offer to do the maneuvering, but you're like, no, 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 it's okay. I started being like, oh yes, thank you. And this sounds funny, but this is so small and so real, because when you start just allowing help, start receiving help, you start being more comfortable with it. Because at first I wasn't comfortable with it, because again, I didn't want to feel like a bother. I didn't feel like being that person that was helping other people get their life and I needed help. So I had to have this superwoman image, or feel like I was doing everything and that I didn't need help. And I didn't want to be, emotionally vulnerable, and so that was frustrated me. And if I didn't ask for help, then I didn't have to be that way in front of people. And so allowing people in public places to do things for me, and just saying thank you and not making a big deal out of it, allowed me to get more comfortable with just receiving help. And so another thing, which is actually one of my favorite things, is give yourself the opportunity to do services. And so when I say services, that means if you don't normally go to the salon, if you don't normally, get your nails done, or if you don't do massages or things like that, going somewhere where you're being pampered. Now, it doesn't have to be a spa day if that's not your thing, but find something that allows you to be pampered in some way, because I really believe it helps us learn how to receive help, to receive care from other people. Or even if it's something with your family, like allow someone else to do the dishes, allow someone else to do it, or even ask, just say it. I'm sure a lot of you are like, listen, I ask my kids and my husband all the time to do it. They still haven't done it yet. Well, we'll work on that. But the point is, how can you create a world where you are allowing yourself to receive more care? Because when we are allowing ourselves to receive more care, then we're allowing ourselves to be in a place where we're going to stop feeling like we have to be the ones to do everything. And now we're being comfortable with help. We're being comfortable with, oh yeah, such and such will do it for me. And we're not tired, and we're not holding onto this cape that we feel like we have to have all the time. So if you like what I'm putting down, then you'll really like my future Her course. That's not complete yet, but you can get a sneak peek. If you click the link below, I have some raw footage that you can get and see what it's kind of going to be about when it actually gets finished. And so I would love to see you in that future Her course when it comes out. But until the next time, I would love to see you in the next video. So until then, be soft, be powerful, and start asking for help.